just to kiss and hug. Go get a room if you want that stuff. I'm gonna show you how to love. You gotta, if you want my...
Hi, everybody.
Hey, everybody. We are here, and we have a little different segment for you. We are going to watch a movie that is by Vinegar Syndrome.
That says trauma, Cheesy.
Yes, it does. The reason why it says trauma is because Vinegar Syndrome has licensed this out, but also at the very beginning it tells you the name of the movie is Pigs.
That says the 13th. How many names are for this film?
Well, let's see. This is Pigs, and as we mentioned before, it was put together from 4 different versions of the film, one of them being Pigs, one of them The Love Exorcist, one of them Daddy's Girl, and the one that actually on the title that you just saw, The 13th Pig.
Wow.
Yeah. It is probably one of the creepiest films I've ever seen. Pigs, it is one of the creepiest films I think I've ever seen.
But enjoyable, nonetheless. Do note, even though this is, put across as a horror film, it's more of a, suspense thriller type.
Yep.
Because, quite honestly, it's suspenseful and thriller-esque and creepy, and, you kind of get the back of your neck, those hairs kind of stand up, and you're like, ooh, that's a little weird. But 1970s style thriller, so, it's horror.
Yeah. And it should be noted, too, that the director is actually the guy who played the great Zambrini.
The main character in the movie.
The main pig farmer in the movie. He was the director, and the main woman who plays Lynn is actually his daughter. Mm-hmm. It was a family affair, and if you want to know more information about that, I highly recommend picking this up from vinsyn.com or find them at a convention or something.
That's where we found them.
That's where we found them. And one of the special features on there will be a documentary about how the movie got made, why it was made, and all that.
And also included are trailers and alternate openings and endings for, I think, all 4 of the films. And it's a really good watch because it's really interesting to see how, from the footage that they all shot, you could really get about 4 different films. It's impressive how the editing and how just certain clips being inserted in certain points change the entire tone and the entire storyline of each movie.
And with that being said, one of the deleted scenes and one of the trailers is from the cut of it called The Love Exorcist, which I'm so happy they didn't go with. Because it was not
left field.
Yeah, it was left field, and not so much bad as much as I want to see a movie called Pigs. It kind of gives you an overall view of the movie. The 13th Pig, an overall view of the movie. Daddy's Girl, it gives you kind of an overall view of the movie. The Love Exorcist makes it sound like you're watching it in some theater where you have to wear a trench coat.
Yeah, it sounded like a XXX movie that only the gentlemen were allowed to. No women and children allowed.
Yes. But I cannot recommend this film enough, as it's creepy, and at 80 minutes, even though the dialogue was slow here, it did not,
70s dialogue.
Yeah.
Gotta love 70s dialogue for taking forever.
Yes. And
it did a great job of explaining itself. The scenes were necessary. And for somebody who likes old retro-style films, this actually is a good one. And it loves those... Well, I wouldn't say this was really an exploitation film at all. That's the other cool thing. Even though it was horror, thriller, slasher movie, it wasn't very exploitative. It was actually just well done and, enjoyable.
What got me was, yes, there is a woman in a low-cut top a few times, and that there is gore, but it's not like A, trauma levels of gore, and B, it's not like today's level of gore. It was like somebody getting stabbed in the back, blood comes out. There's only one time where it's kind of gory, and that's actually an alternate ending.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the alternate ending was, I think, maybe the goriest part.
Yeah.
So you should get this and watch
Yes.
the alternate endings, watch the alternate openings, the alternate trailers,
Yep.
and watch the movie itself.
Yes. And again, you can find this at vincin.com, or you can find Vinegar Syndrome at whatever convention you're at. So
Like Horror House.
yes. So please stop by, pick up a copy, and enjoy. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. We just got done watching a movie called The Bees. It was released by, here's the Blu-ray, not the DVD. It was released by Vinegar Syndrome, and it is a 70s PG horror film. If you can call it that.
And by PG, we mean like actually PG, not the loose term for PG that was really flexible, or like, you know how PG-13 was actually like almost NC-17
Yeah.
in the 70s. Well, PG.
PG.
Probably because the children were cussing. That might have been about it.
Yeah, that's
There was some violence.
violence, but I don't think there was any gore. Because people got stung and...
Just the effects of like
yeah.
welts on their faces, because of course bees. Come on.
Yeah.
No one's gonna get stung in this movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
But for it being a horror film, it was really, maybe I would say politically charged.
Yeah.
And talked about economics, and the whole idea is that the strain of African killer bees have spread from Brazil, where they landed, all the way up into the U.S., and a team of scientists are racing against the clock to try and fix it. Like, you know, try to stop the bees from being so aggressive or killing so many people, while corporations are smuggling them into the
Yep.
U.S. so they can make killer bee royal jelly, which
Yes.
has to be fancier and better, right?
Because everything with royal in it is fancy.
Yeah, and also, it's a killer bee. It makes it fancier.
Yep.
We can charge more. Like, they talked about that, and there was like, wow, parallels to nowadays.
Yeah. And the cast was really good.
Yeah.
There was John Saxon from Nightmare on Elm Street and Enter the Dragon fame. He's the lead male scientist.
I like the second time you see him, he's like on one foot doing like a stretch pose, and the girl comes out in what is it? The karate taekwondo style.
Yeah.
The top. I can't remember what that's guy. The guy.
I think so.
It's the top part of it, and he shows her how to tie the
Yeah.
belt, and it's like, ha! I see what you did there, because it came out. This movie was 2 years after.
2 years after
Enter the Dragon, and also John Carradine.
John Carradine.
John Carradine.
Yeah.
He was also in it.
John Carradine is in it. The only complaint I have is that he was playing a character with a German accent that it could be kind of hard sometimes to tell what he was saying.
He dropped the accent a few times, but
And
just so you guys know, John Carradine was in The Grapes of Wrath,
yep,
one of the old, was it black and white?
1934.
Yeah, 1934 black and white Grapes of Wrath.
John Carradine, the only other complaint I have is I'm pretty sure at one point he actually legitimately fell asleep. At one point he had this little red cloth over his legs, and the little red cloth, while they were watching TV, he's sitting there doing this, and they have to like shake him before he goes, oh. And something tells me that felt a little more real than, because by this point he was old.
Yeah.
There's no other way of putting it. He was old.
40 years older than he was in The Grapes of Wrath. So, you know, he was an older gentleman. You could tell he was suffering from, really bad rheumatoid arthritis in his hand. But his character was lovable.
Yeah.
Was really cool. Was quirky, of course. But honestly, really good character. All the characters were really enjoyable.
Yeah, I was just getting ready to say the same thing. This is one of the few films I've watched that I liked all the characters except for the ones who you were meant not to like.
Yeah, the bad guys.
The bad guys. The film did a really good job of that. And oddly enough, to me, I hate bees, but I like this film. I thought I was going to have a hard time with it.
And they actually went into some of the science behind bees that in the 70s they were starting to explore, like bee communication, because John Carradine's character figures out how to talk to them, and it's very cute.
Yeah.
Into a microphone at him.
It is really cute. And again, if you people want to purchase your copy of The Bees, overall, I think we both say we recommend it.
Yep, especially in terms of like horror films for families to watch, of all
Yeah.
things. And like I said, for being a horror film, it wasn't too gory. I mean, it was kind of freaky and scary,
Yeah.
especially with the premise of, African killer bees. And they're attacking and extremely aggressive and just massive swarms all over
Yeah.
America, and they attack the Rose Bowl parade.
Yeah.
And, chaos happens.
Yes.
Just chaos happens everywhere. But it also has a good message, about environmentalism and having to share the planet with other species. And all in all, I really liked the film.
I did too. So once again, that was The Bees. You can find this at vincin.com. So go to vincin.com, purchase your copy. It is, like I said, a really good film. So we recommend it. Go see it.
Go enjoy it.
Go enjoy it.
Yeah.